Happy Saturday, everybody, and what a beautiful Saturday it is. I've got my chainsawing beaver shirt on, which means it must be time to learn how to have a beautiful time playing Gentle Groove. This is the second to last stop on our epic journey through all of the Mother Love Bone songs. Thank you for joining me. Can anyone guess what's next? Now, of course, I say a beautiful time because this is mostly a piano song. There's guitar licks here and there, but I'm only one person, and I'm guessing you're only one person, and I want to sit down and play the song as one person. So I've synthesized it, I've interpreted some things, and I offer you this to do with what you will. But capo one yourself for the intro when the piano is meandering away. It's a D minor chord. Twice. And then it's a C chord. You can play C if you want. More accurate, the chord the guitar actually plays is C suspended 2. It's relative to capo, the 3rd fret of the A string. Make a power chord, and then the rest of the way. Of course, it's also an EBS, an epic backward strum. And then regular old G. So, 2 measures of D minor. That's your intro. But do you want to play the meandering kazoo riff, piano riff, just for fun? You can. The guitar does something different, but very similar. I chose to go with what the piano was doing. Now, I'm going to be a hypocrite because I called this the 3rd fret relative to capo. We're getting up a little farther here, so in order to not do math, I'm going to call this the 6th fret of the G string. G6 to 8 to B7. Back to G6. And now I'm going to grab E6, B9, and then E9, E6. You're going to do that 4 times. That covers the D minor chords. Not the easiest thing, but it's a fun exercise. When the C chord comes in, it's going to be similar. G6 to 8 to B7. Back to G6, and then it's down our little scale from the E string 6th fret. E6, B9, B7, G8. Of course, you'll do that twice, and then nothing happens when it lands on the G chord. So that's that, if you care to do that for fun. I failed to mention the intro is the chorus as well, so we're half done. We only have to cover the verse now. Interesting sometimes when you put a piano thing onto the guitar, you don't realize how unusual it is until you're in familiar territory. The first chord is D minor. Now I'm going to play D minor with my index, middle, and pinky fingers. You'll see why in a second. I'm going to call this next chord, we hear a C bass note. I don't think it's a C chord. I think it's a D minor 7 chord with a C in the bass. So my ring finger is just kind of dangling out here in Nowheresville. I'm going to assign it to the A string 3rd fret. That chord is called D minor 7 with a C in the bass. Let's hear the change. And then we're going to a G chord, but Andy put a B in the bass, so our G chord, believe it or not, consists of only the A string 2nd fret. You got to promise to only strum from A to B here, and that makes it a G chord. But something very interesting happens afterwards. We hear a D sharp note chime in. That makes it a G augmented chord. So I used my middle finger here so I could put my index finger on the D string 1st fret. Then I kind of want to throw the guitar riff in here. I'm going to grab D2 relative to capo, slide it up 1, and I'm going to bounce back and forth between the D now 3 and the G2. And that's our verse. D minor, minor 7 with a C, special G, augmented riff. fun is that? And just two little teeny weeny in-betweeny notes I want to address. They really stick out in the piano part, so if you want to play them, you should. I kind of do. After our D minor chord, we hear an F note, the D string 3rd fret for us, before we land on that C note for the D minor 7. And then in between that, you either hear the D3 into the G chord or the D open. So do either one alternate, you know? But that's that. I think that A, I do have an outro, and that B, not having an outro is my outro. Just be myself. Thank you so much for being here. I figure out all these songs by ear. Would you like to have my notes that I use to get through these videos to help you get through the songs and also playthroughs? Those are on my Patreon page. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that was fun and helpful, and I will see you next time with more stuff. Goodbye.